Oh, well, my name's Fox. That's right. Yeah, I'm at Fox, and I just got out of Wild Robot, which I ain't gonna lie. Like I just saw not the trailer, the poster for this guy for this robot. And I'm like, oh my god, I love the design. It's giving me like Studio Ghibli style like things, and that was pretty much it. I didn't see any trailers and stuff like that. I know people like said like, oh, like they were excited for it, and then they found out that the animals talked, and then they're like, oh, I thought it was just gonna be like silent, like all of it and stuff like that. Which, mind you, I just seeing the trailer, just seeing the poster, I kind of thought that too a little bit. But also, you know, she's probably one of my new favorites next to Baymax. But I was thinking like, oh yeah, it's probably like something, oh like something like that, and then turns out no, it's actually like here's the thing: if you think it's just gonna be like a cute animals talking kind of movie, there's a bit of that, but also this movie is so like classic, like DreamWorks mean spirited in the beginning. Like if you like something like the first Shrek movie where it's a bit mean spirited, well, all the Shrek movies are a little bit mean spirited. This is very much that. Well, let's first watch the trailer, that way you can get into a little bit more. But again, I haven't seen any of these trailers, so the Wild Robot trailer now. Awesome. Red roses too. And I think to wonderful. This movie, like I'm watching this. This movie is beautiful. Like holy shit, is it beautiful? Like this is where I'm kind of happy, like how animation is like CGI animation is kind of going, because it's reached the point where like they add 2D with 3D and it makes it so much better.
Sometimes, to survive, we must become more than we were programmed to be.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this right now. Go watch this. It's really good and I like it a lot. And I'm gonna spoil some things a little bit. So like first off, like we see where she first pops up. Roz. She pops up here on this in this crate that seems to have washed ashore on this island filled with wilderness, and pretty much it kind of goes the idea of she's there looking for, you know, someone to serve, because their whole thing is that they're servant bots pretty much. They're equipped to do a task while trying to survive on this island, find someone to do a task. She accidentally crashes into a nest, accidentally kills the goose that was there, and smashing all the other eggs, except for one goose, Bright Bill, which I want to get his little figure now. And from there, hit her and this fox here, who pretty much first uses her to get food and everything, eventually they eventually they both kind of become the parents of this duck of this goose, and her whole task is to raise it to where the goose can eat, swim, and then fly eventually to fly for winter. While also, and then too, like the animals talking isn't so much like, oh, they're just talking animals. It's that she literally she, like, for like I think a day or a week or something like that, like for a minute, she studies their, you know, their mannerisms, their sounds they make, and all this stuff to eventually understand what they're saying. Which honestly, that's kind of how I see everything. Is like, not obviously not gonna say like animals talk the exact same way as people do, but that is a way how animals talk, whether it be, you know, ear movements or you know, showing their teeth or stuff like that, like growling. There are multiple different ways that animals themselves have their own language, and since she kind of cracks the code on that. And pretty much it's her learning to become a mom, as well as like rewriting her own coding to, you know, to be a better parent for this little goose and be friends with the fox, as well as learn, like, and this island like also kind of hates her, like, oh, she's a monster, which you kind of get it from how she kind of moves and walks. Like, she kind of moves like a horror villain. Like, if you look at like a horror monster, like watch this. Like, it's like that, like, that's like the scene where like you see Baymax like get his care chip taken out and he just goes into kill mode. Like, that's what that looks like locked in. Like, oh shit. And she also learns from like the animals to kind of move and stuff like that. Though I feel like that's slightly like they could have played that up a little bit more. Because she does copy some of the animals, and it really doesn't come in really towards maybe the end where she's running away from like the people who made her. But like there's, and pretty much like it's like, okay, so is the whole thing just gonna be her raising this goose? That's maybe like the first third of the movie, or first half of it maybe. Eventually then it's, after that it's her surviving winter and saving the island that's getting hit with a very bad snowstorm, and kind of bringing everyone together, bringing everyone else on the island together. And then eventually then after that it's, you know, the distress signal that like calls like the humans to say like, hey, there's a robot here, that goes off, and then they have to then they have to deal with the humans when they come, or at least their multiple robots, stuff like that. This movie I really like. I do think it went by a little fast on certain bits. Like I feel like some things, like it felt like it went a little too fast, but honestly like they still got everything across. Like, this feels like a part one of a story, which there's like 4 books, so I kind of understand that, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume they're gonna want to make more. Which I'll say this, like, it does go a little fast on some bits, and again, like I'm sure like in the books you probably see Roz like use her skills to copy things more animals more, probably get some more interaction, stuff like that, like they're trying to teach the Bright Bill, who's a runt, how to fly, but they don't know. But then there's like this hawk that kind of pops in, this like stellar hawk, and he goes, you know, I have small wings, you have small wings, you can fly, and teaches Bright Bill how to fly. But it also, like, it's like I feel like you could have introduced him a little bit more sooner or something like that. If the movie would have slowed down a bit, probably would have introduced him a little bit more sooner. There's stuff with like the geese stuff was pretty alright, but I feel like that when he finds other geese there, which I'm kind of surprised like the fox didn't say like, you know, oh, just take, well, I guess they're all reason why is because the fox knew Roz got him like food and everything. So maybe that's more the reason why, like, he didn't say, oh, you can just take the egg to, or the baby to the goose. But then again, the Bright Bill was imprinted onto Roz as his mother. I'm trying to think. But, like, I do like that, like, it's not just, oh, she's kind to the baby and that's what allowed the animals to like it. It's like, no, even, like, down to, like, where, like, they have to work together and stuff like that. That really only happens after, like, they still see her as a monster until, like, she, saves them from the cold and he takes them into her sheltered home. And I also do love that, like, Fink, the fox, he's straight, like, he's like, he has to kind of lead the animals for a minute, as well as like, he's protecting, like, the baby pictures of Bright Bill and everything that Roz drew of him. And I'm like, that's kind of funny. And I'm like, that's funny, like, that's cute. Also, I love, like, the design of Roz. Like, the lights when she talks or the different modes. Like, I love this shit. But also, because again, like, that's, like, the first two things. Because when Bright Bill flies off and, like, he kind of gets mentored by this other goose who kind of takes him in for, like, the flying to the winter and stuff like that. When... I'm trying to think about it. Like, when that happens, we see a little bit more of the rest of the world. Where we see that, like, the Golden Gate Bridge is underwater. We see cities just kind of destroyed and water covering over them. Humanity's now living in, like, ships. Cities and ships that are kind of, like, automated by, these Roswell robots. And it's very, like, it's like, okay. I'm like, alright, so, like, not only are you... It's giving me that kind of Kipo, the Wandering Beast kind of thing, where it's like, this is kind of a post-apocalyptic world, which I'm like, okay, I'm interested. And eventually, like, they send and the thing is too, like, these characters aren't dumb too. Like, towards the end, when the company or whatever come to get Roz, which they try to come to her because they're like, you were able to rewrite your coding and do all this stuff. You're invaluable to us. We need you. And, like, at one point, like, they, when they seem to fight them off, like, Roz goes, like, not Roz, the bad guy goes, like, we will keep coming. We will hunt you down. We will get you. And it's like, yeah. Roz eventually having to kind of give in. Which also, too, like, I do love that in this movie, you do see, like, her kind of messed up. Which, you saw stuff where she was, like, leaking, like, I don't know, fluid, I guess. And so that, which it kind of looked like, oh, is she slowly dying? Because we do see, like, her first few days, she gets beaten the hell up. Like, you see right here, like, the scar on, like, her face. Like, she has claw marks across her chest most of the time. Most of her stuff got stolen by raccoons at one point. And, like, even, like, her main core battery, it does... Also, this is the bird that trained the goose to fly. Her main core battery is destroyed where she can only survive via solar powers. And even then, like, towards the end, I thought maybe that battery core was still powering her. And I guess maybe that just, like, she just had so much left where she could call for these people to come pick her up. Because eventually, towards the end, she does get picked up again. And I guess, like, again, leads into the second book, where it definitely does seem like... And, like, it's the whole thing where, like, she tries to figure out if she's pretty much, like, it seems like she has a soul, and that's why she can survive at one point where it looks like they took her memories away. Even, like, when they, quote-unquote, set her back to factory settings almost, she still remembers everything, and they fix her back up. Which also, I think that also shows something where this robot was out in the wild and got destroyed and all this stuff and broken. And instead of just going, okay, well, garbage, throw her away, they purposed her and refixed her up and everything. So I think that kind of shows that, like, the humanity is like, yeah, we can't really waste all the resources we have right now. And there's also, like, a really good message, obviously, where it's, us coming together to help fix the world and work together as a team. Don't go off of, your instincts, which, like the big thing where like people say like, we have to have money to control people, because if we don't have money to control people, our human instinct is to kill each other and all this other garbage. It's like, fight that instinct, please. Because if not, the world's going to kind of get screwed over. Please fight that instinct. Help each other. But yeah, like, and mind you, I do think, like, in this movie, I'm not sure, like, towards the end, it does seem like there's kind of a truce between all the animals. But also, I'm like, I feel like there's probably still going to be some of them eating each other during the summer or winter and all the other times, because, or the summer times at least, stuff like that, and then the winter time is when they come together and rest inside Roz's hut. Because how, like, would you, because, like, how, like, would this, ecosystem survive otherwise? That being said, too, like I said, like, this movie has, like, a really good mean-spiritedness to it in a minute. Like, in the beginning where the possum mom is teaching, like, Roz, oh, you have to be a mom now. Roz go, also, like, you see, what was it? Roz, doesn't, like, she's like, I'm the mother of 7 children. Then you hear off screen, 6 children, like, without, like, any bit of, like, oh my god, like 6 children, like she knows this is the way of life of how predators and all this shit in the wild works. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, like, that's the thing, too, where, again, it's not really like, oh, they can talk, they're all friends together. No, they're still animals. They still fight each other. Even though Roz eventually does in the end, like, fight your instincts, don't do that. And, like, it's really cool. And, like, again, there's the whole eco-friendly kind of thing, too, because Roz is literally solar-powered also with that. And them having to fix nature. And what was it? Also, like, you see, like, her leg is, like, wooden here a bit, and it's because she messed up her leg, but the beaver, seeing that she's a good person and a good mom, helps fix her leg, makes her, like, a replacement leg part for her foot and everything, and kicks it all together. It's really good. This movie, honestly, I think is really, really fun. I highly recommend. Is it something like you've seen before? Like, again, like, it's a robot story, so, like, there's a whole thing of, oh, they got reset to factory setting. Do they remember who they are? And then, like, through the power of love or something, they were able to, remember who they are, stuff like that. Baymax is less like that, I think. I don't know. I was watching OSP's video on robots, and she brought up Baymax, saying Baymax is just really just his core programming and all this stuff together, and he's never really more than just a robot. I guess. I feel like there's probably slightly a bit more in there. If anything, I would say Adam from Rio Steel probably fits that a bit more. But then, and maybe it's just the idea of us, or at least me, projecting, like, humanity onto them. But, like, I feel like Baymax, like, there's something there of protect. He is dusty. Of, like, him having something a little bit more, like, telling here, like, you have to go. Thank you for your care, and, like, I'm with you and all this stuff. And eventually, like, it's, he has the chip in his hand and all this stuff. And then also, we do see, like, well, at least in Kingdom Hearts, Baymax's body is still there, and I think kind of, like, remembers something. So, I don't know. There's a whole thing there. Or I think they even say that Baymax has a heart in that. But anyways, that's could be, not really meant to plan, and it's just a whole Nomura thing with Kingdom Hearts. Beside the point, this robot is badass. It has a Studio Ghibli kind of feel, I feel like, with, like, how lanky and stuff she is. But then even the world is pretty. Like, fire isn't just orange in this. It's, like, a bright pinkish red. And then it is even thing where, like, a beaver that fixes her leg, like, his whole thing is that he wants to cut down a tree, and eventually they do have to cut that tree down for a reason. And at the end, he replants a new tree to let it grow there. And I'm like, all right. There's a really cool eco-friendly message here, which I like. It has solar punk feels to it a bit. And I kind of hope they do make sequels. I want to know what is with the humans? Why, like, how did well, I'm gonna go, I guess humanity through capitalism, all that shit is probably how it all got messed up, and then, not taking care of the planet, because her whole thing is that she did take care of the planet. There's a lot more to explore there, and I love a good post-apocalyptic story. And especially when it deals with robots too. Hell yes. But yeah, I like this a lot. These guys are going to be going on a shelf with all my robots and stuff like that. Well, this guy's going to be back to Disney Infinity. She's going to go back with a robot stuff like that. I love the adopted mother whole thing. I love the outhouse, so I love found family and all that stuff. It started with Little Fox and everything too. Like finding family with this robot, and then like when she gets scared, or when Brightbeak flies off. It's a good movie. They probably could have done Silent Thing, but one thing I will say, like, because we don't understand the animals at first, and she learns to understand them. I would have kind of liked if towards the end of the movie, where you have the robot speaking English, it sounded garbled or didn't sound correct, and like she understood it, but we didn't, because now we're like on the animal side for all of this. I don't know. I feel like that would have been a cool little bit, but I don't know. But tell me anything else about things watch. Tell me if you guys saw this. I love robots, so this was already a really movie that I was like, okay, cool. And I love a cool robot design, which I really do love this design. But yeah, this is great. I liked it a lot. Tell me what you think down below. Thanks for watching. Share videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. Baymax. I can't wait for Death Battle. Baymax versus Ross. But thanks for watching the videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. That'll be actually a pretty fun fight, actually. And we will see you later. And also, like, every time she got hit or broken, I'm like, God, like, no one's gonna be able to repair her. When they eventually do find, like, a bunch of, like, Rosbots, I'm like, oh, good, she can probably fix herself with some of these parts. Hopefully. I don't know. But anyways, it's pretty great.